Hey there, everybody. Tamer Shama here of RotoExperts.com with your start sits at the running back position for Week 8. And the first start I have for you today is Felix Jones. He's going to be going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home this upcoming weekend. And Felix Jones at this point is definitely the number one back in Dallas over Marion Barber. He's getting anywhere from 70 to 80% of the touches out of that running back situation. And that's good news for this upcoming weekend for a couple of reasons. First, you look at the quarterback situation for the Dallas Cowboys. With Tony Romo now out with the left clavicle injury, Jon Kitna in his place for the foreseeable future. Kitna, definitely a capable quarterback, but not in the same class as Tony Romo. Look for the Cowboys to definitely run the ball more going forward, of course, starting with Week 8. So that's good news for Felix Jones. Also, he's going up against a run defense that he should be able to have some success against. The Jacksonville Jaguars have given up 4.6 yards per carry this season, and they've allowed 10 rushing touchdowns, which is second only to the Denver Broncos. So definitely a run defense that he can have some success against. Look at Felix Jones this weekend as a running back 2 in all formats, and given the fact that there's 6 teams on bye, you can even look at him as a running back 1 in deeper leagues. I think he'll have that good of a week. The second start we're going to take a look at is Beanie Wells. He's going to be going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home as well, just like Felix Jones. He's playing a home game this weekend. And Beanie Wells obviously has struggled this year, not having a great season. He's looked a little bit better in recent weeks, but this particular matchup looks good for him for a couple of reasons. First of all, the quarterback situation, kind of similar, a little worse actually in the Cowboys situation. You look at this quarterback situation for the Cardinals. Max Hall, not a good option at this point. They have obviously issues at the quarterback position. So they're going to look to run the ball in this game, especially against a team that they can beat by running the ball and playing some defense. Tampa Bay 4-2 on the season, but obviously not a very good team. So they should be able to run the ball against this team and use that as a strategy to win this game. And that bodes well for Beanie Wells because he's going up against a run defense that's just not very good. They're giving up 158 yards per game are the Tampa Bay run defense, and they're also allowing 5.3 yards per carry, so just not a good run defense. Look for Wells to have a good week. He's a good flex in all leagues and a running back 2 in deeper leagues. Look for him to have a good week, even though he hasn't had a good season. The one sit I have for you is Fred Jackson. He's going to be going up against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, and Jackson's getting the yards on a week-in, week-out basis, but he's not doing two things. He's not scoring and he's not catching any balls, and that really hurts you from a fantasy perspective. You look at the game he's got coming up this weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a good run defense overall, but they're particularly good at home. They're allowing less than 80 yards per game at home from the running game, the opposition's running game. And they also haven't allowed a touchdown yet in their 3 home games on the ground. So definitely a tough matchup for Fred Jackson. Buffalo's been throwing the ball very well. Ryan Fitzpatrick is getting comfortable with his receivers and Lee Evans and, of course, with Steve Johnson. So look for them to throw the ball in order to try to beat Kansas City. They're also going to be in a position probably in this game where they're trailing. So they're not going to look to really run the ball in the second half, I don't think, as they're trying to come back via the passing game. Fred Jackson's a guy you really want to sit in all leagues this week unless you're absolutely desperate. So those are the start sits for running back for Week 8. Coming up a little later on in the week, we're going to have start sits at the wide receiver position as well as at the quarterback position. Also, if you want your advice when you want it, when you need it, definitely check out our email and live advice features on RotoExperts.com. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @RotoExperts, and my personal Twitter handle is @RotoExperts_TC. Until later on in the week, have a great day, everybody.